Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Confidence Culture Conversations. And today you are joining us for episode 86. Woohoo! It's a milestone. It's a milestone. Every episode is a milestone. So,
Yes,
Kirubai, I celebrate you.
I celebrate you too. Celebrate you back, Elizabeth. Something we just started, like what you said about, sowing the seeds. It has gone. It's gone to a. It's grown to a little plant now, I believe.
It's honestly, it's the power of showing up, but not just showing up randomly, showing up consistently. It's
Intentionally,
amazing. There you go. Yeah.
consistently, and intentionally, and putting yourself out there and inspired by some of the topics, inspiring us
Mm,
ourselves to inspire others. And some of the
absolutely.
topics that we have gone through this program has been thought-provoking, and we believe that it's touching lives. That's the most important.
Mm,
Yeah.
yes. Yes. I believe it is. And actually, later on, I'll share a message I got from a friend after she watched one of our last episodes. So I'll share that later on. But it's amazing when you take the bold step to say, actually, I'm going to show up. And sometimes we are waiting for perfect, but what is perfect? What is perfect? So we're waiting for perfect conditions, we're waiting for the perfect background, we're waiting for the perfect microphone, we're waiting for the perfect topic. But actually, just showing up and having conversations that empower, conversations that inspire, conversations that provoke, conversations that challenge people, like, it makes a difference. It doesn't all have to be perfect, because guess what? Life is not perfect.
Perfection is a perception,
Oh,
it's
hey,
what we perceive.
say that again, Kirubai.
Perfection is a perception.
Hey.
To one, it can be, to me, it could be perfect, but to another, it might not be perfect. But each to their own. For me, what I'm putting out is perfect in my eyes, and
Mm.
I'm giving out the best. So for those who are waiting to do, and I just want to add on to what Elizabeth has said, waiting to perfect that which concerns you, no chance, because there's always room for improvement, but you need to start somewhere.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? Sometimes it's a case of just start, just close your eyes and take the step and start. And that's going to make the difference, because I think sometimes the most scary thing is to start. So when you just like allow yourself to be brave enough to say, actually, I'm going to start today, and just take that step. And remember, they say Rome wasn't built in a day. So success doesn't just come in a day.
Mm.
It doesn't just come in a day. There's work that needs to go into it. There's the Bible says seed time and harvest. So there's a seed, you plant the seed, you give it time, and then there's a harvest. It's not seed and harvest, seed time and harvest. So, right, we are going to go into our conversation today. And actually, these little things that we're talking about now fit in perfectly to today's conversation. So, Kirubai, do you want to give a little bit of an intro? Or just, yeah, throw us in there.
Sure. Okay, today we're going to discuss about this book called Put Your Dream to Test. Last week we spoke about mindset. We kind of added a little bit about how to realize your dreams and your goals and having the right mindset. And this book, Put Your Dream to Test, is by John C. Maxwell, where Elizabeth and I have been, we have been trained. Yes, that's it. That's the book. So Elizabeth and I, we got our coaching certification from the Maxwell Leadership. So this is one of the books that we have. understudied, and I think it's a great book, and it's a great way to kickstart this year.
Mm-hmm.
Still in January, and so I'm sure all of you have a dream. We all have a dream, and putting our dream to test, it's so important. Whether it is just we are just daydreaming, or it's someone else's dream, or is it it's just something that is just you have conjured, or you dreamt that dream, but yet you have no way of bringing it forth. So
Mm.
so this Nobel Prize winner of physicist Albert Einstein, he says imagination is the soil that brings a dream to life.
Wow.
So we all have imaginations. So what is the soil that we have in our hands that's going to make the dream to come into reality? So Einstein was a dreamer, and he was a thinker, understood the value of imagination. He said, when I examine myself and my method of thought, I come to the conclusion that the gift of fantasy has meant more to me than my talent for absorbing positive knowledge.
Mm.
So Einstein calls his imagination a holy curiosity. So
Wow.
today we're going to stir up our curiosity, and we're going to talk about the dreams that we have in our hearts. Sometimes we might not be able to even share. We might think it's too big, but you know what? There are some nuggets that we're going to share
Mm.
that confidence culture conversation is actually a dream come true for us. It's still in progress, but yet it is a dream.
Mm.
So, with that, Elizabeth, how do we put our dream to test? I think that we're going to speak about two areas of the dream test, the litmus test, because there are
Mm-hmm.
10 different litmus tests that we need to test your dream and my dream whether it is worthwhile or not. So today we're going to talk about the ownership question and the clarity question. So, Elizabeth, ownership. What is ownership? Are you owning your dream, or is it someone else's dream?
Do you know what, Kirubai? Before we dive into it, I'm just gonna read this, right? I'm just gonna read from the book.
Okay,
This is
go
um
ahead.
this is in the introduction. And John Maxwell just spells out his definition of what a dream is. And I actually love this definition. So let me just share it. So it literally says, here's my definition of a dream that can be put to the test and pass. A dream is an inspiring picture of the future that energizes your mind, will, and emotions, empowering you to do everything you can to achieve it. A dream worth pursuing is a picture and blueprint of a person's purpose and potential. So I just
So
want to
true.
just lay that there, right? And just make sure that as we are talking about a dream, like I want you to picture this future that energizes you. We talked about vision boards and your vision board, and I think I say this, that your vision board should inspire you, it should motivate you, it should provoke you to get up and do something, get up and take action. So likewise, your dream, like when you think about your dream, you should be able to go, yeah, I want that to become a reality. Literally, right? And not, oh my days, how is this gonna happen? Like that can come into your mind, but I want you to remember it is possible. It is possible. So that dream, whatever that dream is, whatever that picture is, it is possible. It is possible. So when we talk about the ownership question, right? So that's the first question. The book has 10 questions, but that's a good place to start because how can you pursue a dream you don't own?
Mm.
How can you pursue a dream that's not your dream? A lot of us are doing it. Let's be honest. Some of us go to university and we study what our parents wanted. as opposed to what we would like. Some of us are in jobs which our parents desired for us. So it's our parents' dream job. I have an engineer in the family. I have a doctor. I have a lawyer. I have an accountant. Some of us are living that life. Let's be real. We're living the life that has been dreamt for us. But I want you to start to take ownership and interrogate yourself and say, what is
Mm.
my dream? What is my picture that inspires me concerning my future? Because the ownership question is literally, is my dream really my dream? Is it your dream? Is it your dream? Because guess what? If it is your dream, you have to be prepared to put in more than anybody else. If it is your dream, you need to be more committed than anybody else. If it is your dream, like one of the things that John Maxwell says about leadership is that leadership rises and falls on. Sorry,
Leadership.
rephrase or take a step back, slow down. Let's get this right. Let's get this right. So, an organization rises and falls on leadership, right?
Leadership. Mm.
So, if it is your dream, you need to be leading the way in the pursuit of your dream. And when I say leading the way, for those of us who are faith driven or faith based, um, that doesn't mean that God is not leading you. He's leading you and you're following and you're leading the other people that are part of your team, right? Owning your dream means that, like, when you're sharing about your dream, like there's an extra drive.
Excitement.
Like, Kirubai shouldn't share my dream and be more excited than me. I need to be excited about my dream. I need to have a passion for that dream. And I believe one of the things that he goes on to talk about is the passion. Because you have to have a passion for your dream. Otherwise, it's not a dream worth pursuing.
Yeah. And what really drives you and keeps you up in the night and you're dreaming about it? You want to bring it on paper, put it down as your goals, put it down as your short term goals and your long
Mm-hmm.
term goals, your mid goals, and you're working on it. And you know what? That every day you wake up, you are excited, excited. Your spirit is churning, excitement. It can
Mm,
be so difficult to roll out that dream,
mm,
but yet that excitement drives you into that resilience that fuels you to
mm.
want to achieve the dream.
That's it. That's it.
So, a question here, Elizabeth, can the dream sometimes it can be very airy fairy? Okay,
Okay.
let's say it is as it is. But you
Mm,
know, some of our dreams can be not monetarily driven,
mm-hmm,
okay, and some of dreams can be very monetarily driven, and some of the dreams can be just, when it's not driven, probably it's something that you want to bring it out in the community and you just want to touch lives in that way. But where do we, if we are at a job, a good job, and then you want to leave everything and run the dream, acquiring the dream, sometimes you need to sacrifice, right, Elizabeth?
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, if you want to make the dream a reality, and I think John Maxwell goes on later in the book to talk about how you have to be willing to count the cost
Yes. Mm.
because every dream is going to cost you. There are some dreams that cost people their marriage. There are some dreams that cost people their relationship with their kids. So you have to ask yourself, like, is this a cost I'm willing to pay? Is this a price I'm willing to pay to make this a reality? Is there another way? Is there another option? Is there a way around it? Because one of the things that we need to be conscious of is that when you own your dream is not seated on a shelf somewhere being forgotten about. When you own your dream, you have to be intentional. You have to be intentional in taking actions to make it a reality. When you own your dream, you will look for opportunities. Sometimes we make excuses. When you start to own your dream, you realize that you can't be making excuses because your dream is not going to become a reality if you keep making excuses. And it might even be like the excuse might actually be like it's an issue. But the fact that you are owning your dream, you always find a way around. Like, yes, this obstacle is in front of me, but how can I turn this obstacle into an opportunity? How can I see this obstacle from a different perspective? How can I leverage from this obstacle? Instead of seeing the obstacle as a closed door that can never open. I was speaking to a student a few weeks ago, and we talked about a dream that she has to go and live in America. And I said to her, well, it's possible, right? And she was like, you're right, miss, it's possible. I said, okay. I said, so it's going to be up to you to make it a reality. And then we sort of talked about, I said, so you get to America and then what? Do you just want to be in America and just do whatever? Or do you have a specific plan? Like, what is it? If you were to be as specific as you can be with that dream, what would that look like? And then she mentioned something. And then she said, but if it doesn't work out, if the door closes, it's okay because another door is going to open that's even better. And I was like, come on, girl. That's the attitude.
Yeah, that's the attitude.
So when you're owning your dream, like a closed door doesn't look like a closed door. It looks like I need to go back to the drawing table. I need to re-strategize. That's what owning your dream will do to you. It will make you look for the options. Owning your dream means you will start to commit time to your dream. You will carve out time within your busy schedule to make it a reality. I remember when, this is now not necessarily dreams, let's talk relationships, but I remember when me and Tunji started talking and started developing a friendship relationship. One of the things we looked at was, you have a busy life, I have a busy life, we both live in different cities. How is this going to work? And one of the realities we had to wake up to was, if we want this to work, we need to make time for it. So we need to put aside certain things so we can pursue this relationship. And we did. And the rest is history. 7 years later, we're still going strong, right? So
I must stop you here because you were in the same country. Robert and I were in different countries. So I used to be up by 4 o'clock and his 10 o'clock in 4 o'clock in Malaysia and his 10 o'clock here, and spoke for nearly 1.5 hours every day to connect with each other.
commitment.
So it is commitment. If I didn't
Honestly.
put the time there, we wouldn't be married because I never wouldn't have got to know him and he
Mm.
wouldn't have got to know me. Yes, it's a dream come true for me to move to the UK. I never dreamt about that.
So it's really a case of, like, if this is my dream, what do I need to be doing about it? What do I need to be doing about my dream? What are the steps I need to be taking? What are the actions I need to be taking to make this dream a reality?
So
Because
where do we start first, Elizabeth? Where do we start first? For those who are out there who are struggling to start.
dare to dream. Start by having a dream, right? Even Martin Luther King said, I have a
I
dream.
have a dream.
Start by having a dream. Because if you don't own that dream, And if you're living out the dream that someone else has dreamt for you, like it's not going to work. I remember one time speaking to a young lady who was pouring so much into somebody's dream to the point that she had no time, no capacity, no strength, no energy to work on her own dreams. And I looked her straight in the face. I said, you know what that shows? You don't value your dream. You don't value your
True.
dream. That's why you're not making time for it. That's why you're not putting any energy to it.
It's just a pie in the sky. It doesn't come to reality.
Pie in the sky. So, so if you're going to own your dream, you like let's see you own it. Let's hear you owning it.
Someone. I think when you verbalize it, it becomes concrete. There is some foundation that you are, you are laying down, and when you verbalize it, it becomes a reality
Mm.
because you're here, and if you hear it, it resonates in your heart more
And
and
there's
more.
power in our words.
Hmm. Oh yes,
So it's not just thinking about it, because the beauty of it is that when you talk about it, you can start to get people to partner with you.
collaborate.
You can start to get people who might say, "Ooh, I know of someone who has this. Ooh, I know, if you never talk about it and you keep it all to yourself, well, how is anybody going to help you or support you or give you an opportunity if they don't know what you're trying to pursue?" So verbalizing it really helps. And I think I shared this on here before that there was a gentleman who shared a story. I think it was in the John Maxwell team. And he said how he wanted to sign up for the John Maxwell certification, but he just couldn't afford it. He didn't know how it was going to be a reality, but he it was a desire that he had. It was a dream that he had. And he went to I think it was a pastor's conference, and he wanted to sit with his friends, but by the time he got there, there was no space on that table. So he ended up sitting with other people, right? He sat with other people. And at some point they said, share something with the person next to you and pray together. And so one of the things he shared was that he wanted to get his John Maxwell certification, and that they should pray for him that God would just make a way. By the time they had finished praying and the conference had ended, someone on the table said, God has told me to pay for your certification.
Wow.
So if you don't verbalize it, now, I'm not saying to everyone, to the whole wide world, find trusted people that you need to share it with. I know that there's some people who say that they're monitoring spirits, and there are people who want to steal our ideas. So find trusted people. Find trusted people that you can share your ideas with, that you can share your dream with. People that will not tread on your dream, but people who will encourage you, people who will speak life to your dream. And if you don't have those people in your life, start to find them. Find people who can speak life to your dream. Yes, you're owning it, but just having someone who says, come on, Kirubai, you can do it, Kirubai. I've got your back. Like, I'm here cheering you on the sidelines. It makes a difference. It makes a
Also
difference.
accountability, Elizabeth. Accountability. When you share your dream with someone you trust,
Mm,
you can be accountable to,
mm,
and they can keep an eye on you whether you are progressing or you're digressing, or you are it's so overwhelming that you don't want to take the steps.
mm-hmm.
So at this point, that's why if you can't find a trusted person in your life, a coach could step in and take the place.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a coach can coach you into realizing your dream, and bring that confidente who can help you, who can put things in perspective, goals,
Mm-hmm.
motivate you, and speak with you. And
Mm,
I think the a coach would be a good bet in this area because sometimes, I mean, I know Elizabeth is always, she always talks about this monitoring spirit, but sometimes people, you when you share with someone, they can speak negative to
mm,
the dream, and also they can crush your spirit.
mm-hmm.
So someone who doesn't have any extra grind with you, but to help you. So place a good place would be a coach or a mentor.
There you go. There you go.
So
You've had it from Coach K, so like get in touch. Get in touch with whoever you need to get in touch with to help you make it a reality. But one of the things that owning your dream will do, owning your dream helps you to see the possibilities. Because I can't envision it for you. You have to envision it for yourself. Because at some point, you might have to share the vision with a team of people because you have a team who wants to support you. It's kind of like, when people go to, let's say, like even a program like Dragon's Den, when people go in with their business idea and they're sharing it, it's a dream and they want partnership. They want people to buy into their dream.
yep,
For some of us, our dream might be like a business, so it might be a an NGO, it could be a non-profit charity, whatever you want to call it. um and so I want to encourage you that whatever that dream is, it can become a reality. You have to see the possibilities, get around the right people who will help you to bring that dream to birth. One of the things I like to say is you have to believe it first. Dare to believe that your dream can become a reality. When I see it, believe it, take action. My dream can become a reality. So owning it means, okay, when do I need to get up in the morning to start working on this dream? That's what it means. It means, do I still have free time or do I switch off Netflix and work on my dream? It means, do I have the evening to myself or do I go to a networking event? Whatever your dream is, it means start to get into rooms where people are talking about things that relate to your dream. Start to connect with the right people because when you are owning it, you look for these spaces. When you are, they say that opportunity comes when you're ready, right? It comes when you're ready. If you're not owning your dream, you're going to miss the opportunity when it comes. So you have to ready yourself. You have to start thinking about it, start planning about it, start painting the picture. What does this look like? What does it look like? Because you want to know what it's going to look like so you know when you've arrived there. So paint the picture. Find people that you can trust, that can partner with you, but start to take action. And it doesn't mean that you make major life transitions. It could just mean that you take one step every day, and that one step might mean I do some research. For the next month, I'm going to do research in this area because that's an area I'm passionate about. It's an area I want to go into. You give time to it. You sacrifice because that sacrifice needs to happen. You say no more excuses. It's like when you want to pass an exam and you know you've got to read. Sleep will not be sleep to you anymore. You need to arise from your slumber and take action. When you own your dream, you arise from your slumber and you take action.
so what are you willing to compromise? So we
Okay.
talked about sometimes compromising on relationship time,
Mm,
but catching up on other areas.
mm,
So so you're realizing your dreams doesn't have an age limit.
that's it.
So if you are You say you're retired, you can still realize your dream.
Mm,
If you are still in your mid 30s, 40s, 50s, there's always hope for you to realize your dream. And busy mothers, I know busy mothers who have a lot of things to handle their families and running the home, but yet you can realize something of your dream. A little
mm,
portion, maybe you'll take a little longer,
mm,
but eventualities is you will get there. I speak
absolutely.
I speak this because I think a lot of my most of my life I've realized most things very late in my life.
Mm,
I don't know, maybe I lost time or lost my focus. I don't know. But you know what? But I'm playing catch up now. And it's never too late. It's never too
mm.
late. It's never too late. And I'm happy because you know what? I'm doing what I love.
There you go. There you go. Kirubai, allow me to read this, right?
Okay, God. Go ahead.
People who take ownership of their dreams believe in themselves.
Mm.
And when they believe in themselves, they're willing to bet on themselves. So the belief is so important. When you're
Mm.
owning your dream, you've got to believe it.
Mm.
You've got to believe it. One of the things that I say to some people, like when you're starting out in a business or something of the sort, you're going to need clients, right? So you're going to have to talk to someone about what you do. You're going to have to talk to someone about your business. If that business is a dream that you're building, right? You're going to have to, you want people to buy into it. You might want capital. You need, like, it's my dream and I own it. But my dream becoming a reality is going to
Need
require
support.
support from people around me. Like, it's going to require people buying into my dream. So that's the thing you have to be conscious of. I'm owning it because it's my dream, but I need to realize I need help. I need support. So you start to think about, what is the support that I need? What is the help that I need? Where do I need to go to get it? And Kiruba, you were talking about like mothers and parents. If you've got people that depend on you, people that rely on you, and you need to give time towards your dream, guess what? You're going to need their support. You're going to
True.
need their support because you might not be as available as they need you to be at times that they need you to be available. So you have to have those conversations. I remember one time having a coaching session, and I was saying to the client, they had some goals they wanted to work on, and let's call them dreams, but they had some things they wanted to work on. And I said, one of the things I love to ask is, whose support do you need? So yes, you want to work on that. Whose support do you need? Because you're busy. That's the reality. You've got things going on. So whose support do you need so that you can make time to pursue this dream? You find people studying because they're trying to get to a certain level. They're studying and working, and they're trying to balance the two. You need support. You need
Family support.
support.
Mhm. Question here, Elizabeth. I think a lot of people, they're struggling with to take ownership of their dream, even though there is a dream, because they don't have clarity in that dream.
Mm,
So that's what happened to me. I knew I had something to do about it. I had some dream that I wanted to realize, but I didn't have a clear picture.
mm.
So how are we going to um, take this picture? How are we going to have a clear picture of our dreams? Of course, we did the vision board, which
Mhm.
helps clarity. Well, what more? What are the other steps that we need to take to get that clarity?
Do you know what? I'll say there's different things that you can do, and part of getting clarity means taking time out to dream. Taking time to just sit down and think about this dream that you supposedly have, right? Taking time to flesh it out, let me say. Sometimes we don't like to stop, pause, and dream, but we
Reflect.
need to make time for that. If you want clarity, clarity doesn't come as you're running. You've got to slow down.
Stop. Mm.
Slow down, because there's questions you have to ask yourself to help you get clarity. When we're thinking about, like, how does this become clear? So if you're a person of faith, it might mean that you're spending more time praying about it. It might mean that you are speaking to a coach. It might mean that you are even speaking to people who've gone ahead of you, so mentors in that area that you want to pursue. And sometimes we won't have the clear picture, but it becomes clear as we start to take steps. So for example, you know what area it's in, right? So let's say the dream is to, I don't even know what example to give now, but just starting somewhere. And this is why sometimes we say, like, go and try this out, go and try that out. That helps you to get clarity. Like when someone comes and says, like, they don't know what their purpose is, for example, let me use that as an example. One of the things I like to say is go and serve. Find something that you're gifted in, you're passionate about, and start serving in that area. Because as you're serving, you're going to start to realize your dream. You're going to start to realize the purpose. You're going to start to realize, ooh, this right here, that is it. If you stay in your own little corner, the clarity is not just going to come like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes getting the clarity means you're doing market research. You're speaking to people out there, finding out, what is the thing that they need? What is the problem I'm coming to solve with my dream? Like, just those little things are things that we need to think about. And just as we came into this, obviously the second question that we're looking at is the clarity question, isn't it? Do I clearly see my dream? Can
So,
you see it clear enough to take the next step? To have faith enough to take the next step? What does that next step look like?
this guy, it's a quote in the book, Put Your Dreams to Test. It says, if you have a clear vision, you will eventually attract the right strategy. If you do not have a clear vision, no strategy will save you.
Mm,
So it has to start with us, clarity. If the dream is fuzzy, if it's just a dream that you want to explore
mm,
or just want to try, or you just want to, maybe it's your parents' dream.
mm,
They want you to be a professional or they want you to own a business. Sometimes parents can be very pushy in these areas,
mm,
but yet deep down inside, you don't have any inkling towards it. Then you will not come up with a strategy how you're going to roll out this dream. So ways of getting clarity, because we are people of faith. We take the dream to the Lord.
mm,
We pray,
mhm,
we meditate till we get a clear picture, and then we ask the Lord to help us in this decision that we are making. We have
mm,
someone to rely on. That doesn't mean that it can be a success. Of course, we want it to be a success, but if there are pitfalls along the way, the Lord will help us,
mm,
because in us there's always something that He wants to
mm.
bring out that is going to bless someone else, bless you, in turn bless someone else. So
Absolutely.
for those who do not have a strategy, you have to go back to the drawing board and check. go back to the drawing board and check.
Mm. Mm.
So when I met Elizabeth online, we met online and we connected. We connected, and then we met at the Kingdompreneurs conference, and then we met for coffee. So there was a progression in our relationship. And then I put forward a question to her. Would you like to come on board together? Let's do something, a podcast, and then, later taking it into a different level of commitment. And she immediately said yes. And I said, don't you want to pray about it? She said, no. Probably there was something in that area that the Lord was speaking to her. I'm not sure. So that's how this whole confidence culture conversations was birthed for.
Mm.
So she already had, I know she's a woman of prayer, she would have had some form of inclination and what shall I say, discernment for something
Mm.
like this. I don't know. Today I'm putting forward this question, but I always wanted to do something like this to touch people's lives. So
Mm.
together in collaboration, we are doing this.
No, do you know what? I remember that conversation.
Yes.
I remember that conversation, and the reality is, I said something earlier on that when opportunity comes when you're ready.
Mm.
And for some of us, there's some things that God speaks to us about, right? There's some things that God has on your radar, so to speak, and it's just waiting for the connection to be made, waiting for the connection to be made to the point that the person comes and and I'm going to use the example of a relationship again, right? But let me use that example. Um, and this I guess is in relating it to going back and praying about it. Um, and I'm not saying you shouldn't, right? Have your conviction. You have to have your conviction. But I guess an example I could use is when they were finding a wife for Isaac, right? There was not much of a description of what to look for. There wasn't a list of this is where there wasn't. But my guy went. And he just asked for some water and she obliged. And it clicked. Just maybe this is the one. So there are times that there's ideas that God is marinating with you, like in your mind, in your spirit, and it's just waiting for the right time and the right connection. And it's like someone walks into the room and it's like, woo, the baby on the inside of you lips because
You're
something has
birthing.
connected.
Mm. Because
Something
you're
has
birthing
connected.
something. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so this is why it helps to own the dream, to go back for clarity. Like, what is this really looking like? I remember when I started my business, and I was like, okay, so this is now my dream to make, to become this person, and I had to own this thing. I had to own it. I'm like, oh, I run a business. I'm like, I'm a director. What? I had to own it. I had to take action. I had to believe in it so I could get clients. I had to sell them my service. So I had to own it. I can't just be saying, oh, go to this person, they're really good nurses. Come here, right here. I will give you what you need. So you have to own it in that sense. But the clarity, if you ask me, for example, when I started my business, did I know I would be doing what I'm doing today? Like the different things that I'm doing today, the different strands of what I'm doing. I'll tell you no. But the clarity is coming as I'm going along. It's getting clearer and clearer. And it's getting more like the path is getting more like narrower and narrower and narrower. Yes, you start like on this broad path, and then it's starting to just, you're coming into greater alignment. And I love it when that happens, because you then start to realize, oh, that's why I said no to the other opportunity. That's why I didn't go in that lane, because this was the thing that was coming my way. So we like to wait to have everything clear. And one of the things I said earlier on is, do you have enough clarity for the next step? Whatever that next step is. And the next step might be as simple as get a book and read a book. That might be the next step. The next step might be listen to a podcast. The next step might be connect with somebody on LinkedIn. Go to a networking meeting. That might be your next step. It doesn't have to be major. But if this idea is marinating in your mind and it keeps on popping up, it keeps on coming, and you're like, I think I want this to become a reality. Start looking. Become more, let your eyes just be open to what the possibilities could be, and start taking action in line with that. It's funny because um I look at some of the things I do aside from speaking and coaching, and this little social media angle that's opened up for me, and it wasn't necessarily a thing for me. But I remember, funny enough, years back, when I was before I met my husband, um I was on Twitter, and I used to go to events, and I would be tweeting about these events. And I remember being in church and saying to my pastor, we need to start going on social media, we need to start posting on social media. And the passion, the desire was already there. And I remember one time, just like this little thought coming in my mind, like, there is something for you here. I didn't know that a few years down the line, I'll be at a stage where I've helped organizations with their social media, right? Or that I am helping other women with their social media, inspiring them to show up and shine. But it comes clearer and clearer as we are taking the steps, So yes, you have the big picture, and I like it. Sometimes, like when I go to speak in schools and we're talking about like the future, where do you see yourself in 5 years, 2 years? A lot of the kids are like, I want to be rich, I want to have all the money I can have, and I'm like, okay, so let's break it down. How do you want to get rich? And then we start really getting to the nitty gritty, because that's where the clarity is in. Yes, this is the big picture I want, but what is the platform? What is the system? What is the journey, the route that I'm going to have to take to get there? So you have to own it first. Don't let someone plan it out for you. You sit down with it. You war with it. Break it up, like literally. And when I say break it up, I'm not saying tear your dream apart, but what I'm saying is, like,
Sometimes you literally have to. You
look
literally
into
have to.
detail. And
Yeah,
actually breaking it apart might be nice, because it shows you the different strands of the dream.
exactly, exactly,
It shows
exactly.
you the
And
different strands of it.
yeah, and as Elizabeth was is sharing about this part of her dream, last year when I flew back home, I met a couple of Malaysian women who were, they were in the same flight with me, and I when I saw their physique, and I saw the way they were struggling with walking, because we were in Istanbul airport, and it was huge.
Mm,
We took a Turkish air, and it was huge. There's so much of walking
mm,
and struggling. This couple of ladies, they were in their mid 50s, and they were struggling to walk quick. And I just kind of observed them, and I reflected upon myself, because at that point I was having a lot of joint aches and pain and everything. I was thinking, you know what? This is not our portion. This is not our portion. So flew back to Malaysia. Um, just And there was something that was deep within my heart is to help women who were going through menopause.
Mm.
Because firstly, to help myself, body, why is it breaking down? And when I came back after 6 weeks, I immediately signed up to become a menopause wellness coach.
Mm.
And I've always loved health and supplements and food and how you turn things around with food. So it gave me a lot of scope to study and
Mm.
to read and to encourage myself and to help others. And lo and behold, I think in end of October I was certified because I worked at it. I worked at it because I wanted to help others. So now I'm a certified menopause wellness coach. But now the Lord is putting another dream in my heart, which is it is still in very it's still in an infant stage. But when it becomes a little bit more clearer, I will share. But you know what? It doesn't stop. It doesn't give you rest.
Mm.
He's stirring you up. He's stirring you up. He doesn't give you rest because you know what? End of the day, we are all born to touch people's lives,
Mm.
and the vehicle is through our dreams.
Absolutely.
So for those who have lost hope, go back, start to dream,
Mm. Dream again.
dream again, dream again.
Dream again. And it's just as we said that, one of the things that popped into my mind is now takes me back to when I was 6 years old. When I was 6 years old, I had an amazing teacher. I looked at her and I was like, this teacher, I want to be like her. And it's interesting because if you had asked me then, what do you want to do? What do you want to become? I would tell you I want to be a teacher because she
Mm.
was my inspiration. I want to be a teacher. And then fast forward a few years, I started to realize this teaching thing is not easy because I was in Uganda and teachers are underpaid. They're not really rewarded for the amount of work that they do. Some of them can go months without getting paid, and it's not right. Um,
Government.
it's
Wow.
it's it's a sad reality. It's a sad reality. So I decided I don't think I want to be a teacher no more. And then when I was in church in my youth and I was really getting on fire for God, when we had like a revival among the kids, I think I was about, let me say, I was about 12. And I remember one day we were in this upper room and we were praying. And the person who was leading us, who was also a young person, started saying, the Lord is going to speak to you about your calling and what He's calling you to do. And I kid you not, in my spirit, what I got was teacher. That was what I got, like teacher. I was like, oh, okay. And so fast forward to today, I do coaching, which is not so far from teaching.
That's right.
It's not so far from teaching. So those little dreams that our kids have, if we nurture them the right way, if we point them in the
Mhm,
right directions, those dreams can become realities. They
mhm.
can. And honestly, like I remember the teacher, like, and one of the things I remember about her, like, she was very inspirational in the way she taught. And there was this particular poem that me and her worked on, like the whole class worked on it. But I was the one, like, I loved the poem and I would just recite it. That's where I started my speaking journey. That's where
Wow.
I started as a
Six
speaker.
years old? 6 years old?
Probably 5, 6, because the other thing my dad used to do is whenever my dad would go to minister in another church and he travels with us, the kids, well, guess what dad would do? Dad would say, oh, my kids are going to come and give you a special number. And then we would all come forward and we would start singing all this Sunday school songs. God bless my parents. But see, What they didn't realize, they were nurturing all of this inside of us. So don't
Mm,
ignore the things that you see about your kids, because that could be the thing that they become. That could be who they become. So honestly, like when you say dream again, like really go and dream again, because there is there is a desire that is in your heart. There is a, like, you're not here to just breathe, die and go. That's not what life is about. It's about what happens in between when you're born and when you die. What happens there? Make every day count. Take a step towards the future that you desire. Some people say, I don't have a dream. I was like, okay, what do you like in 5 years time? If you know, if there was nothing standing in your way, you knew you couldn't fail, what is that thing you would like to do? Oh, I'd like to do this, I'd like to do that. Maybe, just maybe, you can start pursuing that. You honestly, and sometimes we are quick to shut down some people's dreams. We're like, you never make it. Can we stop being the people that shut down other people's dreams? And I'm not saying don't be realistic, but what I'm saying is take the limits off and allow yourself to believe and dream and inspire others. Like, be the person that fuels somebody. Don't
amen.
be the person that just shuts somebody down when they come to share their dream with you. Honestly, be kind enough to give someone time to listen and say, okay, how can I help you? How can I, because you've clearly trusted me enough to come and share it with me. So how can I, what's the thing that I can do to help you? Is it holding you accountable? Is it praying for you? Is it giving you some coaching? Like, what is it? What is it? When my daughter tells me, oh, mom, I would like to do this, I start to think, oh, how can we make this a reality? She wanted to do skating. And that was a God thing. God led us to this place where they had the opportunity to skate. And now she's skating and she gets in there, she's like, wee, wee. And I'm like, this girl, she's a pro. She calls herself a pro. But it was like a little dream that she had. So if you have the power to make someone's dream a reality, right? The power to be kind to somebody and say, even if it's a case of, and for me, this is my dream, to get to that point where I can empower others with their dream. And whether it's to financially support somebody to make their dream a reality, then that's it. Whether it's to help them get clarity in their dream, whether it's to be the shoulders on which they stand on to get a step closer to their dream, how can I help you? Because I'm going to need somebody to help me with my dream.
It's a cycle, no?
So let me be kind and help somebody else with their dream. And before we finish off, right? Before we say these last words, um, confidence culture is about empowering people. It's about empowering, having those conversations that help us to grow in our confidence, to step out and be all that we can be in whatever culture, whatever country, whatever sphere that we find ourselves in. And sometimes it might seem like we're just going on, but just listen in and get what's for you. Get what's for you. And if there's someone else share it with them. Send them the link. Tell them, actually, just listen. There might be something you can take away from it. We're not perfect. We're also growing along the way, and we also get help from different people. But last week, so I decided to share a snippet. So we did the live conversation, and I decided to share a snippet, which I don't usually do, Kirubai, right? I haven't done it in a while, but I decided to share a snippet. I think it was Friday or something. I shared the snippet, and someone saw it on my WhatsApp, one of my friends, and she messaged me and said, "Oh, this is good." So I sent her a message and said, actually, here's the link. You can listen to the full video. And this is what she came back to say. Because I said, give us some feedback once you finish listening to it. And she said, Liz, this was so good. I took away the idea of resetting my mind by having an interrogation with myself and see where I have put those limits that have stopped me from doing things or got me in a cage. That's why this year I've decided to do a vision board so that I can see those imaginations and dreams come to life and then try and find ways of executing. And finally, the last statement you made about doing that thing that I'm scared of doing because I feel underqualified, I'm going to bite the bullet and do it. So help me God. Thank you, Coach Elizabeth and Coach Kirubai. That is why we do what we do. Because there might be just one person, just even if it's for the one, just one person that needs that word that helps them to break free from the chains that they have found themselves in. Sometimes it's chains that like they've been there and you just don't know how to break free from them. And it's just one word, one statement that can help you to break free. So thank you to everybody who has helped make this confidence culture conversations a reality. Because like we said at the start, this is episode 86. Episode 86. So thank you so much. Kirubai, do you have any last words?
Just want to thank you for supporting us and being avid listeners, and you know the most the topics that we unpack on confidence culture is, firstly, of course, it encourages us to encourage you. So we appreciate your time spent with us as we speak. Sometimes we do speak for 1 hour. It can be a little overbearing for some people, but you know what? We are there. Like what Elizabeth says, there must be parts that will touch your lives.
Hmm.
And we look forward to seeing you every week. Join us on Confidence Culture, 7 p.m. UK time, every Tuesday.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Thank you very much. God bless you and enjoy the rest of your day, whether it's night, morning, daytime, whatever it is. Enjoy the rest of your day. God bless you.